Freilich. Today we're going to do a very fun activity using leaves, warm colors, and cool colors. So let's get started. The supplies that you'll need for this particular project is a clean white unlined sheet of paper, a pencil, eraser, black marker, and either crayons or markers. Also, you will want to get some leaves. Okay, what you want to do is go out in the backyard or even go for a walk and look for leaves. What you want to look for is small ones, big ones, different sizes, and different shapes. So let's take a look. So we'll pick up this leaf, and maybe this leaf. And you get maybe 3 to 5 leaves, and that should do it. So let's take it inside. You just go ahead and start with a clean sheet of paper and sketch out what you want first. And if you use a very light touch, it'll be very easy to erase. So what we'll want to do first is kind of draw a rolling hill. And it may swoop down and come back up. And then another rolling hill might go the opposite way. And then another one might go like this. And then go upward, like so. And then one more might go about like this. And you can make them any direction you want. Now what you're going to do is you're going to place the leaves that you got from the outside anywhere you want on the picture. You might use small ones, you might use big ones, and you might use ones that are just totally different in shape. And you could overlap them too if you want. And so what you're going to do is you're going to trace your leaves. You're just going to hold it down gently and gently go around. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to give you an idea of shape. And then continue it around. And do you notice this one doesn't have a stem? Well, that's okay, because then you can just make a trunk of a tree right there, because these leaves are going to be turning into trees. So now we'll do this one. You press down gently. That's why it's very important to make sure you don't get crumbly ones. And you'll just kind of get the general shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, but at least it gives you an idea of the shape that you can use from nature. And it could be jiggity-jaggedy, because that's what leaves and branches do. And then continue around. And it's also okay if it overlaps with what else is here, because that's how trees are. They're jiggity-jaggedy. Now this one is going to be like this. Let me choose a smaller one. He's a little too big, so I'm going to choose this guy that we got. And he looks more like a tree, doesn't he? He's about that shape. Or maybe, you know what? I'm going to switch it out one more time. And see how big this is? If he's way up there, he's going to run into him a lot, and there's going to be a lot of open space down here. So why don't we be tricky and pull him down? All right? And then it's okay if he's off the page. And then we're just going to trace his little leaves. Goes out like that. Comes back around. The top kind of goes like this. And it's okay to have a distance, because that way you won't have to worry about running over him. And then bring him down here for his trunk. And then voila, this is a very close-up tree. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your eraser and erase anything that's in your tree. So this leaf here, they don't need those crisscross lines. So we're going to take those out. And in here, you've got the back little hill that you're going to take out. And this one right here. And then you'll take that guy out. And it's okay if you erase some lines, because we're going to go over them. And then take this leaf, or rather line, out. So you have to have a really good eraser, because the eraser is very important so it doesn't leave a smudge. Yeah, okay. All right, so now we basically have our little hillside and the different shaped leaves becoming trees. So what you want to do is take a marker like so, Sharpie or black magic marker of any kind, and we're going to define these lines that we just drew. All right, so we're gonna trace that line going down. Oops, I forgot to erase that one, didn't I? That's okay, I'll come back and get it. And then I'm gonna trace this line right here. Goes down like so. And it actually kind of goes like that. Forgot to erase that one too. And then up here, it goes way a mountaintop and like so. Now, before I think of anything else, I need to erase this line because that's part of the leaf or tree. And this line, okay, we want to get rid of that. Now what we're going to do is take our Sharpie and outline our lovely leaves, which have become trees. So we're going to go like that. And it's okay if it's jiggity-jaggedy because leaves are jiggity-jaggedy. You could wiggle it as you move it up. And then with these, you can come out like this and then be all jiggity. Doesn't have to be perfect. And you can sketch this way and that, kind of very rough, because leaves are very jiggity. They're more jiggity than rounded. And you can just kind of scribble basically in the shape. But the trunk is generally very smooth, like so. Now be careful if you're using a black Sharpie on a table. You don't want to mark the table. Now this one might be more smooth than the others. So it might have a straighter line. And it's okay if you have a bobble here and there because the bobbles actually create imperfections that are very much found in nature. All right, now we're gonna complete our outlining. Voila! So now what you're gonna do is you're going to use warm colors like these on the trees. Warm colors are like yellows, apricot, orange reds, things like that. These are warm colors. So we're gonna use these shades on our tree. So let's say we want this guy over here to have a little bit of red. So we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna color with our crayons, maybe in the direction of the leaf. The leaf normally goes like this, sideways, up to a point. So that way it kind of looks like the grains of the leaf, which also simulates the tree, right? And actually, we are going to go ahead and open our crayons. You're gonna see, is there a brown? Yes, we have a brown. So we're gonna make our lovely trunks right here. And we're gonna give them brown trunks because that's what trees have. All right, now let's say you want this guy to be maybe orange. So we're gonna color him orange, and he's all jiggity and squiggly. So we're gonna color with jiggled lines like so, because there's going to be some space, and that's okay. Because if you ever look at trees, they have those gaps because it's not one solid color, is it? They're jiggity lines, and then you see some sunlight coming through the leaves, and so it's very jiggity. And if you've ever looked at the shadows that the trees make, with the sun peeking through on the sidewalk, you will see that there are many little patterns that are on that tree. All right, so as we finish up here, like so, all right. A little bit more color there. And it's okay if you leave a little white space every here and there, because the white space is very much like trees with all the different leaves. Now this one, we're gonna make yellow. So remember, color in the direction of the leaf, because this leaf kind of goes sideways like this, so we're gonna color it that way. And this leaf over here goes sideways, so we're gonna color that one like this, right? And then we're gonna color this one going up and down, because that's the direction of the leaf. All right, and don't forget to color the stem. Stems are gonna be brown, or not stems, stems if they're leaves. Otherwise, they are trunks, because these have turned into trees on our little landscape. So now you can get even more creative because you can mix colors. Let's say in my yellow one, I want some yellow or orange in my yellow. And let's say I kind of want it to follow the shapes of the leaves like that and go like that and make little veins. So it'll look like a leaf, huh? But it could be part of the tree, part of a giant tree, right? And it'll just add another dimension to it because it's not just one solid color anymore. You're using a variety. Now over here, let's say you want a little bit of sparkles of red, little squiggles here and there, not everywhere, but just a smattering, a little bit of squiggles here and squiggles there of a different shade, because then it'll add more colors, textures, and it'll just make it look all the more fall-like, won't it? Yeah. Now over here, you could use maybe a little bit of apricot. Let's try some apricot. Ah, that one you don't see as much, huh? So let's add a little bit more of something else. Perhaps we'll use more of this red. And we'll go dark and draw little squiggles like this to add definition and character to our lovely trees. There. Okay, so now we're gonna set aside our warm colors and we're gonna bring out our cool colors. Take a look at the cool colors. They're blues and greens and purples. And now we're gonna color the background, these hills and the sky. I'm gonna start with the sky, and the sky's gonna be the lightest color, and you can go back and forth. And if you lay it kind of on its side, and you just go back and forth like this, right? If you kind of lay your crayon on the side, you're able to get more coverage as opposed to going like this, because then you're using more of your crayon because you're using the whole side of it instead of just the point. The point will be very definitive, whereas this is more vague. So I'm going to come over here and do the same over here. Okay, now we're gonna color this first hill. And we don't want it to be blue too, because then, you know, it'll be too similar. So I'm gonna use a little bit of purple. All right, we're gonna go. You know, because this is a mound, you can kind of curve, give like a roundish stroke to it. And that'll make it look like a hillside. And make sure you get all the gaps. Try not to run into your tree too much, because then you might accidentally, if you do it a little bit, that's all right. Don't worry about it, because as you know, you can see through the leaves and you will get to see what's behind it. Now we're going to choose another color. Let's go with green. This layer right here is going to be green. Try to go in the same direction, because if you go every which way, it'll show through as far as the direction of your different strokes. So it's very important that you pick a direction and go in that same direction, because that way it'll look uniform. Then don't forget this spot right here. And over here, follow the curvature. And then down here, because it was continuing around. Which heel connects through. Voila! Now what we're going to do is the final one. Let's do magenta. Okay, this one is going to be kind of a lighter purple. And that's a pretty color, isn't it? All right, and you're just about done. There you go. And now what you can do is darken the colors if you want, and it'll be really vibrant. So, good job. Have a great day.